So I managed an Arby's in New York. And I remember the owner had this thing where he wanted, and it was just a standard business model for any business. You have your revenue, and you want to spend about 30% of that revenue on labor, 30% on just supplies and rent and your regular operating costs, like electricity, sewer, the food you have to buy to prepare to fulfill your menu items, uh, anything that isn't labor that it's going to cost you to run that business. And then, you know, so that 60%, he wanted it, you know, 30 to 35% profit or whatever. I don't remember if it was 33, 33, and 33, but it was divided into thirds. So I'm sitting here thinking, one of the managers was talking and she says, "You know how much it costs to run one of these stores? I'm sure it's outrageous. I have no doubt that the electric bill and the sewer bill, and uh, if you're renting, I'm sure that's outrageous amongst your internet costs and all these high sophisticated security. But here's the thing, this town is 30,000 fucking people. This motherfucker has six fucking McDonald's in a town that is a tiny, tiny fraction of the size of Buffalo, where there might have been, I can only think of three or four McDonald's in all of Buffalo. So if people want their fucking Happy Meals and their McNuggets and their Big Macs, they're going to come find you. You don't have to have six stores, which means six electric bills, six sewer bills, six crews. You're not, I mean, I would say two or three stores because the whole place is spread out. I would say two stores. I mean, think about it. Motherfuckers want to shop at Walmart. They drive all the way to Williston. They're going to get their Walmart if that's what the fuck they want. Or Dick's Sporting Goods, or wherever. McDonald's has some specialized items that kids are just going to want, like their Happy Meals or whatever. They're going to come find your motherfucking ass. You ain't got to have six motherfucking stores, all of which you're having a hard time staffing, but you still have your same demands where you want the mobile orders and the drive-through orders to be prioritized, and those of us who walk in the door, screw us, you get your order taken whenever the fuck we get ready to take it. And your closers and your openers are busting their ass because they don't have enough help. I don't know about openers, but closers are usually the ones where you're really struggling. How about reduce it to two stores and have more staff at those stores so nobody's busting their fucking ass, and you can afford to pay them a really good wage, because you know what? There's four stores that you're not paying fucking electric bills and sewer bills and maintenance and rent or mortgage. Fuck out of here. That makes no fucking sense at all. That's not, and I'm not, that is no shade to the manager I was talking to. She was thinking in a very inside the box, yes, this is my store. She wasn't thinking about the fact that this motherfucker doesn't need six motherfucking stores in the Burlington area. Well, that's more jobs for us. Yeah, and you're getting fucking slave wages and you're being forced to commit felonies. And he's committing felonies with the Pomerlows and Epstein and Peter Thiel rapist, and Sam Altman, who's now under investigation for raping his sister when she was 13 or some shit. Yeah, without all those McDonald's here, there's more room for you to open your own damn restaurant. Or somebody else to open a restaurant. There's no Chick-fil-A here. There's no Pizza Hut. There's no Denny's anymore. You have what? You have 6 fucking McDonald's, 1 Burger King, 1 Wendy's, no Taco Bell. You have 6 or 8 fucking Dunkin' Donuts, 6 or 8 or more fucking Starbucks. How many Subways? I can think of 2 right off the bat. There may be more. You have a whole shit ton of Domino's. So that's called a monopoly. There's a whole lot of other food restaurants that could be here. You finally got a Little Caesars down next to the McDonald's on Williston. It was way out here at Essex Center, I think it's called. You got no Arby's because Napoli wants the fucking corner. He wants all the fucking business. And then wants to bitch about his operating costs when he's either paying rent or mortgage on 6 fucking unnecessary stores that are apparently understaffed and very overworked and underpaid. So, Mr. Napoli, miss me with the, oh, please have sympathy for me bullshit. You're not fucking committing multiple felony murders over PR or civil violations like health violations. You're committing multiple capital homicides and risking treason charges, death row, because you're doing a whole lot of other shit that I promise you state police probably already know exactly what the fuck you're doing. If you think they haven't hacked your financials, and if you think anything you share with your attorney is fucking confidential, you are sorely mistaken. You're working with Homeland Security, namely your manager's husband and Goldwater Piper military people who are hiring these idiotic private ICE agents, one of which was stalking our fucking mayor and her child. And one of Michaela's husband's lawyer buddies used the same Trump MAGA bullshit about weaponization. That's propagandist talk. That means he's part of the propaganda. Epstein, Israel propaganda. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have that security guard make that post about Israel and Gaza to give this guy an alibi for why he's stalking her. It probably has nothing to do with that, like in general. That's probably just some bullshit they cooked up so that they could try to make the weaponization defense work or plausible. And I know 2 of the security guards were threatening me. And one openly admitted to being, he didn't even ask why he was on the Epstein list. He just shrugged it like, yeah, and so, what are you going to do? So I noticed today that a whole lot of these trolls backed the fuck up after I went and re-tagged all my videos with McDonald's that said McDonald's private ICE agent and all those videos that have the Benny Hill theme song. ICE don't give a shit if it's got a bad reputation. Neither does Epstein's partners in crime. Neither does any of the cops. They don't give a shit. McDonald's does. McDonald's is really fucking freaking the fuck out now that they're exposed as being part of the Epstein cartel. Probably because they have all these things that are targeted to children, like Happy Meals and McFlurries. And now everybody loves fucking ice cream, but they really try to project themselves as a family restaurant, and they really want to draw kids. Now, none of these McDonald's have the big McDonald's playgrounds like the last one I worked at. That thing was huge. It was an indoor playground, and people would come and bring their computer or their phone or whatever, and there was tables inside of that play place, and eat and just let the kids do whatever. Especially in Phoenix, where it stays well over 100, biggest majority of the year. There's a couple of months where it will get down in the 40s and 50s, but we hit 110 by May 1st. And stayed in the hundreds, if I remember correctly, right up until frickin' November. But I mean, still, my point is, when you have McDonald's and Epstein in the same, both tagged for the same private ICE agent, that is a recipe for a PR nightmare, the likes of which the McDonald's is going to go belly up. So all of you people who work at McDonald's, understand you're going to fucking get paid, and when I mean get paid, probably in the millions or close to $1 million. It's all going to depend on what happened to you. If you were a career manager, it's going to depend on the damages, how much you were threatened, how much whatever. Because I'm sure, now, a lot of you here at this particular McDonald's franchise, yours is going to go up because you were asked to commit felonies against me and ultimately cover up a whole bunch of other felony murders and other shit. But the other McDonald's employees, they're going to be fine. They're going to have plenty of money. Plus, you're not going to need it so much because all of these Wall Street cartels. Elon Musk is a trillionaire, not literally. Most of his money was made off federal grants. He's been robbing the Treasury his entire life. So has Sam Altman. So has Peter Thiel. If it weren't for the government grants they've been getting from Republicans and Democrats in bed with Epstein, we wouldn't even know who the fuck they are. And they're not brilliant autistic savants. They're idiots, autistic or not, scam artists. End of story. But all that money's going to be, all those trillions of dollars they've been stealing with BlackRock, is going to be clawed back. All their assets are going to be seized, and it's going to pay for universal health care. You're not going to have to worry about being able to pay for health insurance. It's going to pay for universal education right up through university and probably your PhD if you want. It's going to wipe out student loans. All the student loans are going to be no more, and a lot of people who are paying student loans are going to get reimbursed what they've had to pay in. I understand your whole fucking life is going to change. All the things that you think of that you're worrying about, as far as money and your car payment, that's how they coerce you. That is not going to be an issue. Plus, you're going to be global heroes. You guys are going to have freaking fame if you stick together and work with Essex PD however they tell you to do it. Y'all are going to have, y'all, people are going to be, recruiters are going to be begging you to work for them. You're going to have, you're not going to have any, you're not even going to have to go apply for a job. There'll be companies, not necessarily big, well known corporations, but there will be people, you have a certain skill in computers or whatever, business management, whatever. They're going to be like, oh, I want that person to work for me because then that will, they think that's going to be good PR for their company and they'll train you and whatever it is, extra training you need. Your opportunities are about to be endless. If you want to go to veterinary school, if you want to be a wildlife rehabber, whatever the hell you want to be, you're going to be able to be it. You're not going to have to be busting your ass for a fucking pedo regime. Child murdering, child molesting regime, motherfucker. Flipping burgers. Life is not going to, life isn't going to end because there's no more McDonald's or Happy Meals. Some other motherfucker's going to come on. Some local restaurant's going to do something very similar. It just isn't going to be, it'll just be unique to their whatever they want to call their little children's meal that comes with a toy, whatever. I mean, it's really kind of gimmicky. Come on. The Happy Meal is a fucking gimmick to get kids in here. Come on. And these people are in bed with Epstein and they're getting popped for child labor laws. Come on. I know they want to wing blah, 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 but nah. And brand and you fuckers at McDonald's corporate. Every time one of your fucking ignorant PIs gets in my idiotic, stupid motherfucking PIs gets in my face, I'm making a video, at least long enough to play the Benny Hill theme song, usually about 60 seconds, and you're going to be the first motherfucker tagged in that title. Once that's done, and it's posted, I can go in and put you in the tags and force feed that motherfucker into the news aggregator. You haven't seen public humiliation yet. Ask Scott Rosier Mason how I made my articles on his lengthy violent history that the Pensacola prosecutor wasn't allowed to admit to the jury, but I could, because I wrote a biography under a work of art. It was a self-portrait that I took at Chad's with his iPad on Flickr, which was owned by Yahoo, which owns the world's largest news aggregator. Put 75 tags on it. When you Google search Scott Rosier Mason, which we knew the jury was going to do it because they weren't segregated, my articles were above Pensacola News Journal and Tallahassee Democrat and all the other Gazette. No, Garnett owned news. Still is, if I remember correctly. It got so many hits that Darlin, I believe over a million. It literally went viral. I did that. I hacked the world's largest search engine, Google, and the world's largest news aggregator. I was invited to join the Men's Association for my work as a whistleblower civil rights, sworn and immunized civil rights investigator. I suggested the Mizzou football player strike. Got the idea from the football players in Phoenix who threatened to strike Governor Jan Brewer. if she signed a law that made it legal for businesses to Super Bowl teams. We were literally 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. The city of Phoenix has spent a fortune. There were millions, probably billions of dollars resting on that. You know, all those people, all those football fans that bought Super Bowl tickets because the Super Bowl was at the Phoenix Cardinal Stadium. Hotel rooms booked, all the money they were going to make off the tailgate parties, all the restaurants, all the hotels, and both Super Bowl teams said, "You sign that shit, Governor, and we're going to strike the Super Bowl. We won't play that motherfucker." Can you imagine the financial devastation? Guess what? She vetoed it real quick. So I mentioned that in an email that was CC'd to the NAACP. I sent it to Lynn Curry, the mother of murdered Sasha Minu Curry. It was she unalived herself, but she did it out of intimidation. She was literally lied to about. They called her borderline personality disorder. She was an assault victim, an SA victim of multiple Mizzou football players. And Mizzou took her. She was a top 15 swim athlete that they recruited out of Canada. She was on the swim team. They locked her up on a fucking psych ward and forced her to sign away her fucking scholarship, her academic scholarship, after they illegally kicked her off the swim team. To silence her as a victim. And I emailed her mother and I said, if the Mizzou football players went on strike, like the Arizona Super Bowl players, it would devastate this entire local economy. And it did. They set it up. They did it. They were hemorrhaging hundreds of millions of dollars. Mizzou football couldn't recruit any of the top athletes anymore. So they went from the top 8. They were always in the Big 8. They were in the top 10 my entire life. Cornhuskers, Hawkeyes, Mizzou Tigers, whoever else, Iowa Hawkeyes. And they dropped down to less than, they weren't even in the top 20 when I got done with their ass. They had to close 7 fucking dorms, fire over 500 faculty, force over 200, almost 300 more into early retirement. Motherfucker, I'm not the one. I'm not the fucking one. And that was just a university. You're fucking McDonald's. I'm taking you down. And all of you who work for McDonald's, you're about to be able to open your own fucking whatever the fuck you want to open. But you gotta start imagining yourself as something other than a goddamn slave. You know why your electric bill's up through the roof? Because of the racketeering with the local government. See, the people who make the laws regarding how much they can charge you on your electricity get kickbacks. They own stock in the electric company. That's why they let the electric company rape you and overcharge you on electricity. They also own stock in big real estate. That's why they let the Pomerleaus and Redstone, and I think they said most of the private property that's being rented or controlled here in Vermont is owned by five landlords. I guess Handy's one of them, the Pomerleaus, Redstone, Shelburne's, and somebody else. Well, guess who owns stock in them? Your city council, not the progressive city council. All your state legislatures, Democrat and Republican, though not the progressive. And if the progressives do, they just don't act on it. I mean, I'm sure the progressives have some sort of 401k, but they're not making decisions to what to make legal and and the attorneys general and the governors, though. The Vermont Attorney General and Governor may be different. I know the new New York governor is Kathy Hochul. She's part of the She's the one that launched the independent investigation that got Buffalo City Hall raided based on my whistleblower indictments. And I don't know about the new attorney, the new Vermont Attorney General. I don't necessarily trust just James. I mean, one of her investigators tried to abduct me, just like that fucking prick that drove the Volvo. Exact same shit. Now, did she know he was going to do that? Maybe not. That's going to be up to the special prosecutors to figure out, and Governor Hochul. See, Governor Hochul's husband was the former Buffalo federal prosecutor at Western District of New York, or what they call. It's just makes no sense. He just being a greedy fuck and shelling out way more in rent and electricity and sewer and labor than he really should. And then the labor ain't even making any money. Y'all are barely able to survive because the Pomerlos are taking you for every dime. That's by design. That way, when you get good and comfortable as a manager with all your perks and they come and tell you to commit a felony, you jump right on it. Because you don't want to end up losing your car, losing your home. That's a form of coercion. That's human trafficking. So welcome to my world. Almost. Only you guys don't have deliberately accelerated cancer that's gone untreated. At least until Koozie got me what I needed. Harriet Tubman said I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if they had known they were slaves. Took a screenshot of a comment. I don't remember what I was watching, but some foreigner made a comment and then somebody else commented, "You can't explain freedom to a slave." Now I'm gonna give it my best shot. It's gonna be up to you. I can only exit you by letting you. How do I exit you from human trafficking? Telling you how you're enslaved and how to free yourself. It's up to you to make the move. And like most domestic or other human trafficking victims, a lot of times they demonize you for trying to help them. They'll always don't act like an adult child of alcoholic and take the side of the abuser.